don't catch astray. And when I say that, I'm saying, to me, it seems like the energy of the world is shifting and there's a lot of truths coming on. There's a lot of exposure coming out, which I think is definitely a good thing. But to me, it seems like it's a lot going on. And they say when it's loud outside and when there's so many things happening outside, it's time to go within and really get zen and get still, because you can easily get caught up in this energy that is whooping people's tail left and right. And you don't want to get misinterpreted as one of these entities. It seems to me that society is imploding around us. I'm starting to think that a lot of these content creators that are exposing these truths are being sent things to change public opinion on different celebrities and enterprises and things, because more and more and more of the sadistic truths are coming out, not only in regards to Diddy. And I personally have a hypothesis and a theory that Beyonce is going to be taken down and replaced by Kelly Rowland in the public eye, or that's what they're going to try. And I already made a video about that. So if you want to watch that one. But I think also that the deeper we get into it, the more people are going to start asking more questions. Well, what happened with the Epstein list? Who is allowing and creating this type of being to keep popping up? Because Diddy and all these people are corporations. They are not themselves. They are run by other people. And so if these people keep getting caught up, the rabbit holes of nonsense are going to get more deeper and deeper and deeper. So for me, the question is, who is doing this? Is it a being that is about to expose every single thing that's happening or has happened in society that is causing the power dynamic to be what it is, that is causing poverty, that is causing societies to plant plants that you can't eat to make the neighborhood look pretty, rather than planting community gardens all over the place? Because when you think about it, there's no reason, with all of this green space, even in neighborhoods and around, there's no reason why we don't have healthy foods. You know, the people that design communities could plant apple trees, and they could plant this and they could plant that, but instead they plant useless plants that we can't even cultivate and turn into stuff. Then they say, oh well, if we do that, then there's going to be animals and rats and stuff. But if there's food in the forest, they're not going to go out of their way to come to get what you're eating. They're coming to you because they don't have anything to eat either, because they're also starving and they want to survive. They'd probably rather be in the forest with their own stuff. So it's like, who's behind that? Are the grocery store chains in on this debauchery? Are the medicine things? Because I always also said, like, to some level, like, doctor, this is just all alleged. This is what I'm thinking. This is not saying that any of this is true. This is all 100% alleged conspiracy theory that I'm coming up with and I'm thinking, and from what I've heard from other conspiracy theorists as well. But I always thought, why would a doctor actually heal somebody fully? And I'm not saying that they're not. That's not what I'm saying. But like, that industry as a whole, why would they solve cancer? Why would they cure it for a business perspective? Because their whole business is around keeping people sick. So wouldn't it make sense that the food industry, from a business perspective, not an emotional perspective, but that the food industry and the medicine industry would come together? Because then if I want to make the most money, I'll make the people sick from the food, and then I'll capitalize and give them things that, and medicines that just temporarily make them feel a little bit less bad. Perhaps I'll put an addictive element in there, and we'll just keep the cycle flowing. And then they get in with the real estate developers and say, look, I know that you could create a place where they can have farm and they can have agriculture, and they can you can build trees that have fruit and all this stuff, so people can just go outside and pick their fruits and things. But or we can give you some extra money and we can put you on our payroll, and you can come in with us and you can plant useless plants around that won't provide any sustenance for the people, so that they have to come to our business, and then from our business they'll come to this business, and then they just keep society in this endless cycle. And then they say, okay, well, what about the fashion? And you can kind of think about how, from a business perspective, it would make sense that these are the things that they would be doing if they are trying to rule and have the most money possible. From a purely business perspective and standpoint, that is genius. Now, is it morally correct? Is it ethical? Do I agree with that particular tactic of handling business and poisoning people, allegedly, perhaps, to have control over them? No, I think that that is foolish, and I think that that is something that can only work for so long before it can collapse. Because when you are dealing with people who are only dealing with each other for spite and evilness, then it typically does have an expiration period. And I just personally wouldn't want to be dealing with someone like that, because you never know when they're going to turn on you. They might decide, you know what, I just, for whatever reason, I don't want to work with this person anymore. So now I'm going to ruin their career so that I can come in and usurp. And what I've also noticed is people that do stuff like that also create problems so that they can come in and save the day. They create situations that are bad, that are not serving, so that they can come in and say, well, look, I have the solution. But no, Sherlock, you have the solution because you're the one who caused the problem in the first place. So of course you have the solution. But people are so excited that this person gave them the solution that they don't even think about how that's not even addressing the problem. That's just a symptom. People, it's like you know you're sick because you're coughing, but you're not coughing. The cough is typically not the sickness, it's something that's causing that. So if you just get a cough drop and you don't actually drink your tea or eat your soup or whatever, get your vegetables in, then you're not going to stop coughing. It'll just soothe it temporarily, but you're going to still be coughing. And if you don't address the reason why you're coughing, perhaps you're coughing because you are hanging out with someone who has the flu. And so if you don't stop hanging around people that are full of the flu, you're probably going to keep being sick and have the flu. So, from a business perspective, the way that they're putting this out, it definitely makes sense and it's strategic. But there's like patterns, because I feel like when you do things like that, eventually you start to lose your creativity. You start to lose things. So you start to be in this non ending cycle of kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, devour or be devoured. It's just non-stop, and it's just an endless cycle because everybody wants your position. The people that you made those deals with that are in this industry, they have a reason to take you out because they want your territory. They want what you're working on. And once you get in bed with those kinds of people, it's never ending. And maybe that's why they have tapes on each other, because they can't trust one another. So they have to blackmail them. Perhaps that's why they do the things that they do. Perhaps that's why they have these secret societies, because they all know the debauchery that's going on behind closed doors. But I can't say anything about you because I know this about you. And you can't say anything about me because I know this about you as well. And then you start to become paranoid because you can't trust anybody around you. Anybody could be a mole. Anybody could be a snake. Anybody can be bought. If you could be bought, so could someone else. Well, it just turns into this thing, and I feel like you could never just be safe. You might have to get a taste tester because someone might be trying to poison you because of the deal. You might, and you always have to be on guard because at any point it could be you. So then they try to get to other people before they can get to them, and then you make more enemies, but then you also get more power. You get more dominant. So it's definitely this weird cycle of just complete and total interestingness. So it just makes me think that if year after year people just keep getting caught up for these things, are we going to, or is, what's going to happen from this? Is it just going to be, oh, well, this person's doing this, and then they're just going to swap it around again, and then they're just going to keep doing their thing with the next person in line taking over? Or is society as we know it going to just be completely flipped up, topsy-turvy, and perhaps even destroyed because of all of these things that are coming up? That's what I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think that society is collapsing, or the old ways. I don't know. And perhaps even that was a psyop. Perhaps they put out this thing of the Enlightenment period and whatever, the age of whatever is happening, because they still want to control, because they planned this out. They planned X, Y, and Z to occur. So if they say, oh, it's the age of this, then people will let their guards down and think that, oh, all of this is happening because the moon is shining to the left. And I'm not saying that that's not true, but perhaps I just have to put the question out there. What if the age of enlightenment was also just a psyop to get people to be distracted and think that, oh, things are changing so that we can just come in and do another thing, another stage in the plan? We don't know. Or maybe it really is happening. I don't know. But the point is, society is strange. There's a lot of stuff going on. So stay protected, stay zen. What I do know, though, outside of all of that things, what I do know is that you can control your energy at least. You might not be able to control everything that's going on around you, but you can have a impact because we are divine beings. So regardless of what is going on externally, you can still put your request into the ethernet if you are clean and clear and under control in your mind, space, body, and soul. Okay, I'll make this fast because I gotta go. But if you are happy, if you are putting your all into being the best you can be, you can have a better experience. You can come back from all of this stuff going on. Do not allow this tyranny to distract you and get you off of your path and get you off of what you're doing, because you can't do anything broke, busted, and disgusted and sad and depressed, but you can make a difference in life if you are able to stand up for something, if you keep pushing, if you make a way. Because together, what we have to remember is, as a society and as beings in this game, simulation, whatever is happening, this life, whatever this divine orchestration is, there's more of us than them. There are so many people in this planet. If we wanted a change, we actually do have the power to do that. There's more of us normies and us weirdos and us people that are not in the in crowd than there are of these people that are in the in and that are in the control. And I think that's why they put all these distractions out, because they're trying to control us. But once the caged elephant at the circus realizes how much larger it is than a person, it's only one stomp away from stomping out the whole brigade. It's only the lion that doesn't know that its fangs are sharp is never going to attack. But once it sees one lion get that person for whipping them the last time, it's going to be over for them. It's a wrap. Wild lions and tame lions are different. So at some level, we have to get back to ourselves. Stop paying attention to all that. I'm not saying to go and attack anybody. No. What I'm saying is get right within yourself and focus and see what you were here to do. Because I also believe that we are all here at this particular time doing these particular things for a reason. So get strong in your purpose. Stop being afraid of everything and pursue. Because what we do know is that there's some weird stuff going on. But what we also know is that as long as you are continuously on your A game, continuing to improve, continuing to evolve, at least you'll be able to impact. The happier you are, the higher the vibration is that you exist in. The happier you are, the closer you are to the energy, the more you can just naturally be in the flow state. I have so many videos about being in flow and healing, all that stuff. But the more you can dive into that, the easier life will be for you. And I'm telling you, you will be able to just to these people. You will be able to just keep moving, because you'll be so into what you're doing that your reality will improve, and therefore the reality around you will improve. So all that to say, with all of these things going on, remember to still focus on yourself, because that's who you have power over. Okay. And the more powerful you are, the more you can empower those around you who think similarly to you. So the more you can help impact the world and help change all of this debauchery and stuff going on, because you are not in the in crowd. So you can make a way for yourself and those around you. The more people in power and prosperity and rich that have your same values, the easier it is to evolve the planet around you as well. So what can you do from that? You can become the best you can be. You can become more valuable to the marketplace. You can make it, and then you can help those around you, and you can change, because little by little, a little becomes a lot, period.